I have pie. Oh, this side's better. Hello friends, and welcome back to Rachel's Baking Corner. Today, in lieu of this season, we will be making pumpkin pie. Now, I feel like this isn't exactly even really that necessary because pumpkin pie is surprisingly easy. So, why not do a quick video for you, show you how quick and easy it is to make your own, and then maybe you'll be inclined to try it yourself. All you need is these really few ingredients and a pie tin and the season in your spirit. So without further ado, we'll talk ingredients, tools, order of operations, and we'll get baking. All right? Yay! When it comes to ingredients, the most important ingredient to any pie is the crust. Now, if you feel like making your own pie crust, good for you. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I'm ashamed. It's easy, it's done right, and it's just honestly not necessary to put in the work for a pie crust. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. For the rest of the ingredients, for the filling, you'll need 1 can or 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. You'll need a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 2 eggs. I've already cracked them and put them in a little bowl for convenience. Next is spices. When you think of pumpkin, you think pumpkin spice. So in here we have 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground clove, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. All in this little bowl. It smells fantastic. When it comes to tools, this is really easy. Just a bowl and a whisk and a rubber spatula. And if you feel like using a mixer, use a mixer. If you feel like not, go for it. It's really easy, I promise you. And then of course you'll need your pie pans. So without further ado, let's get to baking, shall we? I think we shall. Pie crust. So I've made this recipe, which by the way is linked down below. I've made this recipe about 4 or 5 times now. It's really easy. I seem to remember, I mean it's been like a year now, that this filling made more than 1 pie, but the recipe says 1 pie crust. So we're just gonna start with 1. If I have extra filling, I'll kind of just take it from there. All you need to do, keep it nice and cool. You don't want it room temperature because then it's impossible to work with. You just get your pie crust and you roll it out flat if you make your own. If you didn't make your own, you will just unroll it from the packaging. Mine's breaking, that's okay. Here we go. And once you get it all rolled out, oh, I have greased my pie pan. Definitely grease your pie pan. You want the pie to come out. You're going to rest the pie crust into the pan and just kind of use your fingers to mush it into place. You don't want to have a lot of creases and bumps, so you just want it to be kind of flush with the sides. Push it down so it gets into those corners and edges. And then I like to press the edges down like that, because we're going to try to flute them. I think that's the term, flute. Make it look pretty. If you felt like it, you could just cut it, trim it, make it look nice, that's fine. But this is what kind of makes a pumpkin pie, is to flute the edges. So I'm just checking really quick there's no air bubbles. Not that it matters, it's not a big deal. All right, so real quick, I have some kitchen shears. I'm going to just cut the excess off at the very, let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, at the very outer edge of the metal pie dish. Just because too much crust can make for uneven fluting and it doesn't look that pretty. Okay, so if I remember how Grandma taught me, you use a knuckle and 2 fingers to flute. So I really wish I could give you a close-up. I'm probably not doing it right though, so you're not missing out on anything. You grab the crust with your fingers and you get your knuckle, and you're gonna push your knuckle in between the two fingers to make that classic little flute or rivet. So you just pinch, pinch, pinch. It's kind of moving, which is a little annoying. Pinch, pinch, pinch. How do you get it to not move? I'll put my heavy whipping cream. Oh, by the way, this is just for whipped topping for the end. This is not a part of the recipe. That'll work, okay. Pinch, pinch, and you just go directly beside your previous pinch. There we go, there's our fluted edges. Let me get close, hold on. Here's our little fluted edges. Next, we need to poke some holes into the crust. Let me show you. With any pie crust, any puff pastry, if you're trying to have a flat crust, you get a fork and you dock, I believe the term is dock. You poke holes in the bottom of the crust. Very sparing, you don't need to like go crazy. And this is so that no air bubbles can form in the bottom of the crust and make a huge bubble in the center. Obviously not making for a flat and pretty crust. Okay, last thing. The recipe does not call for this, but every time I make this, the crust is kind of soggy on the bottom, and I don't like soggy bottoms. So I am gonna brush this with a little bit of melted butter and bake it at 350 degrees for maybe like 5 or 7 minutes, just until golden brown, and then let it cool, and then pour my filling in. I know, I'm sorry, it's not what the recipe says. You totally don't have to do it, and it's kind of an experiment because I've never done it, but I just don't like when the bottom is all soggy. I want it to be flaky and crispy like a delicious pie crust. So let me do that really quick. 350, 5 to 7 minutes, use your best discretion. Just golden brown and puffy, okay? It'll continue to bake as it's in the oven. So there's that. I'll be right back. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the filling. So we're gonna get our sugar and our spices. Get our whisk and whisk that together. Instantly smells like Thanksgiving. Okay, now we are gonna add our eggs. That's 2 eggs. And mix that in. These instructions can be easier. You just mix it together until well incorporated. It smells so good right away. So I'm just giving that a good whip. My pie crust is in the oven, pre-baking. Ooh, I feel like it's sinking a little. Hold on. It's sinking a little bit, so that's a bummer. All right, not sure you have to whip it too much, but I got some air in there. Next, we're gonna get our pumpkin puree and add that. And then our evaporated milk. I shook this up really well before I opened it, as you can tell. Let me get my spatula out of here. And then I'm gonna just kind of like stab my pumpkin to kind of help it break up and not make a big mess. And then slowly just whisk it together. It's that simple. Oh, it smells so good. It immediately has the color of classic pumpkin pie. All right, let me get my pie crust. Hold please. Okay, so maybe because I didn't have pie weights or the filling inside, the sides of my crust kind of sank into the pie tin. And I have a lot of filling here. I'm almost positive that this is more filling than it is needed for just one pie. So I went ahead and set up my second pie. We'll do a little bit of an experiment. I'm gonna just leave this as is, like the recipe says, and then pour it into both, and then we'll bake them. If you had pie weights, which are like little, metal balls or something, or you can use like beans or rice to fill up and just like hold the crust in its spot, then it wouldn't maybe sink, but I don't have that. So we're just gonna do it the way the recipe says. I know it works, I just wish it was a fluffier crust. So you can have one option that's a little uglier, but fluffier and crispier, or you can have one that's a little prettier, but might have a soggy bottom. So I'm going to pour the filling into my pie now. So let me just I guess I'll give that one more little wisheroo. Doop, 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 doop. Let's taste it. Yum. I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin pie. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that's because I always had store-bought pumpkin pie growing up. And when I made it homemade for the first time, it was amazing. Oh, maybe we do have enough. Oh, snap. That's really full. Let's just stop there. That's pretty full. Glad I didn't keep going. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do. That pie crust was an experiment, okay? So now we're gonna take our pie and put it in a 425-degree oven. We're gonna do this for 15 minutes. Don't ask me the science behind it, I'm just following the recipe. Then we're gonna lower it to 350 degrees. We're gonna gently cover the edges of the crust with tin foil as to prevent burning, because it's gonna cook for another 40 to 45 minutes until completely set. Completely set means toothpick comes out clean, kind of like classic cake testing. Then we're gonna pull it out of the oven and let it completely cool. And then traditionally you would want to serve it cold. So you would let it come to room temperature and then chill it. Today we'll probably taste it while it's still room temperature because I don't have all day. So I will fast forward time for you now. Something I highly recommend is to use a baking sheet under your pie. That way when you put it in and out of the oven, you're not grabbing the crust as to mess it up, okay? So going in. All right, so I have shoddily covered the crust in tin foil very loosely. It's really hard not to get it into the pie itself and mar it. As you can tell, I kind of did on one spot, but back into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. And down to 350 degrees. Here is our pie. I'm excited to see if it's soggy on the bottom. You can see where I tested if it was toothpick clean. My charming little fluting that doesn't look ugly at all. All right, let's frost this. Here we are. Our pie baked beautifully. Didn't burn, the edges look nice and crisp. My little fluting is very rustic looking, Off camera, I went ahead and made some whipped cream. I made this in my no-bake cheesecake recipe, so I figured I'd do it off camera this time. Just heavy whipping cream, sugar, vanilla extract, and I added a little bit of pumpkin spice in there too, just for fun. You can't really taste it. So without further ado, let's add some whipped cream to this pie. I'll do a quick close-up and then we will taste it. Yay! It smells like Christmas. Ah, I'm so excited. Okay, I have my offset spatula. I'm just gonna plop some whipped cream on top. I used my vanilla bean paste instead of just vanilla so that you could see the little flecks of vanilla bean in there. Makes a really pretty presentation. All right, I'm just going to just spread this out. Not gonna be all crazy. Okay, great. Let's show this up close and then we'll taste. Let's cut into this. It's time. So I'm gonna be that person and just cut a single slice because this is all going to work tomorrow. Actually, some of it will stay here for my fiance. Please no soggy bottoms. The crust is the crust is really crispy. Come on out. Come on out. There we go. Oh. Ah. It's so cute. I have pie. Oh, this side's better. Let's taste this. Let's taste this. Ah, it smells good. I wonder if pumpkin pie would be good frozen. Ooh! You probably can't see it that great, but it actually did get some good caramelization on the bottom. Yeah, let's taste it. Get a little extra whipped cream. Oh, it's not soggy at all. Oh, there is a little layer of soggy because some of it is coming off. Bummer, but that's okay. I did bake this in my toaster oven for what it's worth. Still, although I'm having pumpkin pie and it's fall, it's still 90 degrees outside where I live, so I'm not using my whole oven. All right, this is delicious. The texture of the filling is fluffy yet dense and creamy. Perfectly spiced. Warm and sweet and nutty. And then that cool whipped cream. This just makes me think of my childhood, enjoying a slice of pie at my grandma's house. Pumpkin pie is so easy. Make it. Make it yourself. It's so easy. It's so easy. There you have it, friends. You put the crust in the pan, you mix the ingredients together in no real intense order, pour it in there, bake it, and put some whipped cream on it. It's so easy. So friends, I challenge you to make your own pumpkin pie this fall. It is so cute, it is delicious, your family and friends will be beyond impressed, and you don't have to tell them how easy it was to make. Just tell them that you slaved over it all day, and they're gonna love you for it no matter what. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like the video if you did. Leave a comment down below of some recipes you'd like me to try. Subscribe, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Thank you. I love you. Mwah. Goodbye.